So if you're getting here now, I am Clay Souza. I'm a wedding and portrait photographer in Chapel Hill, North Carolina, and you are at Clay Souza Official. And you're watching the 808 with Clay. That's when we go live twice a week, every Monday and Wednesday at 8:08 p.m. Eastern Time to talk about photography. We talk about photography, more particularly lighting, composition, and posing. Remember, posing goes hand to hand with directing. We also talk about that a little bit here today. And today I want to talk about layering, how you can improve your composition using elements on your scene to layer, to create. Photography is quite two-dimensional, right? How can you make your image a little bit more three-dimensional? And I bet you all you need is right there. You just need to look at the scenes a little bit different. I started doing this a few years ago, and I'll tell you, my photography changed completely. But we're going to talk about that later. We are, as I do like every live, we're going to start with the questions. Okay, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 questions tonight. So let's see how many of them we can go through. Okay, so one of the questions is, I was shooting a event, and I had 4 flashes, 4 off-camera flashes up, and 2 of them stopped firing. So what may have happened? Well, my friend, probably your flashes are overheating. Okay, so especially if you are shooting like fast and in a little bit more of a higher power on those flashes, they're going to overheat, meaning they don't have, because they don't have time to recycle very well. The insides of the flash will get hot, and they will overheat, not overheat. And that's probably what's happening. So depending on the flash that you have, it will show you a little icon like with the 3 things that's like smoke going up. That tells you your flash is overheating, probably because of much use without a break. So yeah, you got to be careful with that sometimes. And also make sure that the flash, because the flash has some vents that to circulate air inside the flash. Make sure that those vents are not covered by some type of modifier. Okay, so I would say that my first guess is that if they were firing before and they stopped firing suddenly and then came back firing again, my best guess is going to be they overheated. Okay, so I hope that helps. Let me know if you want to talk a little bit more about this. Just DM me. Okay, that's one down. Okay, a contract. I think I have that question before. Do I really need a contract? The answer is yes, yes, yes. You need a contract. A contract not only protects you, but also protects your client. All right, and this is, at some point you may get somebody who is going to do some pushback on the contracting, on signing a contract. That's a huge red flag for me. I've had clients that I didn't shoot because they didn't want to sign a contract. It has happened to me. I do not shoot without a contract, because the contract, like I said, protects me and also protects me and my business, and also protects the client. So yes, you want a contract, and beyond that, take your contract to a lawyer. Make sure that a lawyer is looking at your contract, right? Because if you get sued, lawyers can go in between, reading between the lines, and you're gonna lose in court. So you want a lawyer to have a really good look at your contract. Okay, spend some money there. It's not that expensive, but it's worth it. It's protection, right? So the third question is, what is manual mode? Do I need to learn it? And the answer again is yes, yes, yes. Okay, let's split this in two. What is manual mode? Cameras have manual mode, they have portrait mode, they have 7 different modes. They have a full auto mode. meaning the camera will do all the thinking for you, thinking about light. You just need to, if you are in full auto, the camera will measure the light for you and think that it's doing it right. All you need to do is to compose and focus and push the button. Okay, so that's your auto mode. And then you have some modes that are not 100% auto. You have, for instance, the aperture priority mode, which is you dial the aperture that you want, and the camera will figure out the other two ends of the exposure triangle, which is ISO and shutter speed. Okay, you also have the shutter priority mode, is when you dial your aperture, your shutter speed, and the camera will figure out the aperture and the ISO for you in that case. And you have the manual mode, which is your question. The manual mode, the camera is not going to try to help you at all. Okay, the camera is just going to sit there. You have to dial your aperture, you have to dial your ISO, and you have to dial your shutter speed yourself. So why is this important? Because I'm going to be 100% honest with you. If you spend $3,000 on a professional camera and shooting full auto, you better buy a point and shoot and just shoot with that camera, because you're not doing the thinking. The camera is doing the thinking for you. Okay, so it's important to learn how to shoot in manual mode. What you're looking for when if you're going to go online to look for a tutorial or something like that, you're looking for the exposure triangle. Try to learn the exposure triangle, because that is the basics of photography, and once you learn that, things have become much easier. Okay, all right, so let's go for one more here. Do you edit all your photos? Yes, every photo that comes out of my camera gets edited, because we shoot in RAW, and RAW provides us with a lot of data on the image, but also makes the image a little bit flat. So you need to bump the contrast, you need to bump the colors, you need to spice it up a little bit to make it look nice. All right, but we try to do it as close to perfection on camera as we can. All right, and sometimes I would say, like most of the times, you just download the pictures, go to little slides, and a little bit of contrast, a little bit sometimes correct exposure, and the color correction, and the picture is ready to go. Just remember one thing: if you are a photographer, you are a photographer. You're not a photoshopper, right? You don't want to spend a lot of time in Lightroom, in Photoshop, because this is time that's taken away from your business. Okay. You want to shoot close to perfection on camera. Okay, so the next question is JPEG versus RAW. Very good question. I just posted a video today about JPEG and RAW. Just go back to the feed and look for the IGTV video there, because that's exactly what we talk about. What's the difference between JPEG and RAW? Very good video, very good question. And somebody was asking about life balance. They feeling overwhelmed. I mean, this is a topic for a live on itself. I don't want to go deep into that one here, because we have a lot of stuff to talk about today. Okay, tonight. So at some point we're going to do a live on work and life balance and see how I touched on that a little bit ago, some time ago. I touched on that, but yeah, it's a whole live on itself. I mean, we can talk hours about this, but if you want my short question, I don't think there's such a thing. I just think you have to work hard for what you want. All right, so let me know here. I'm ready to talk about composition. I'm ready to talk about the topics that I have today, which is going to be layering. Who is ready to start talking about layering? If you're ready, just hit that heart there and let me see how many people are ready, or I'm going to keep answering questions here. Okay, so let me see how many people are ready. Come on, run. Let me see. Keep those hearts coming. Hey, let's create some interaction here. Instagram likes interaction. And also, if you would be kind enough, hit that paper airplane there, and let's share this with your friends. Let's invite your friends to come and join us today. Okay, I keep saying today, it is tonight. I had like a long day today. Last night I couldn't sleep. I was up at 2 in the morning and started recording some videos and doing some work, and then I went back to bed at 6 again, and then woke up at 8, and I've been like straight directly non-stop until now, when we have a consultation that we're going to do after this live tonight. So busy day, but I like busy. All right, so let's talk about layering. What is layering in your images? How you layer elements on your image when you're shooting. This is not Photoshop layering. When you're shooting, how you layer your image to create a more interesting composition. This is a technique that I started using years back, and I'll tell you, I mean, my photography changed a lot since I started doing that. And I'm going to show you a few images and tell you how I look at this type of things, how what caused me to do that, and how that improved my images. So, but before I start showing you some images, I want to talk a little bit about how you approach a scene, right? The first thing that I do when I arrive on a scene, a place, for instance, a place that I have never shot or something like that, the first thing that I do, if I pick a spot, when I get to that spot, I always turn around and do a 360 view of that spot, because a lot of times we lock our view into one single spot, and sometimes there's a better spot here on your left or on your right or behind you. Sometimes not better, but sometimes as good as the other spot. So which means that that would be a second shooting location that you're going to shoot, a second shoot, second compositional element that you're going to use, but you're not moving to a different location, which saves you time, traveling time. Okay, so start doing this, guys. Start doing this when you get to a scene. So you pick a spot. Okay, this is where you're going to start, and when you get there, stop, breathe, all right, and do a 360 degrees, and let's see how much stuff you find around you that you didn't see for the first time. Because sometimes when we lock our eyes into one spot, we just walk straight to that location, right, and we shoot, and we go to a different location. Location finding, there's this thing, location scouting, there's this thing that we need to find different spots on the same location. And you know what? Sometimes we don't. A lot of times I'm shooting, I'm really confined in one or two or three spots really close to each other. So it's just like a little walk here and there. But when I look at this type of stuff, I'm looking what's in front of me, what's the foreground, what's the midground, and what's the background. This is what is going to tie us with the layering that I was talking about. This allows me to pick locations and spots inside a location that I can explore to the maximum, so I don't need to be moving to location number 2, location number 3, location number 4. And also helps me with one issue that we talked about last weekend, I believe, which was people running out of ideas when they're posing. Okay, so just remember this. I'm going to give you some tips, and if I were you, I would be writing down some of this stuff. So if you're writing down, the first thing you should write down, take your time. Don't rush into posing and shooting. Get to the spot, do a 360 degree, like look around you and see which other scenes you can create on that very same spot. Okay, take your time. We tend to rush a lot, and I used to do that a lot too. Okay, so take your time and really explore that scene to the most before you go to a different location. All right, so that would be my first tip for you as far as location scouting. Okay, so and when I'm looking for those scenes where to shoot, I'm looking for elements that I can kind of layer my image, right? That I can create like a foreground bokeh, a midground in focus, and a background in bokeh also out of focus. So that way you kind of guiding your viewer's eyes to the subject, and there is that mystery of they're a little bit behind something. Okay, that also allows you to shoot with something on the foreground and shoot also with something with nothing on the foreground. You're just shooting straight to the subject. That creates a whole different image. Okay, so now you have a way to create two or three different images on the same spot. So if you're smart, what you're doing is that, let's say I have let me share one image here before I go with this. And you're going to tie this up with a lot of the techniques that I have described here before, leading lines, framing, and things like that. So let me put this image up and let's talk about this image a little bit. This one here. Okay, so if you look at that image, so you have the flowers on the foreground. Okay, you have the couple on the midground, and you also have the background out of focus. All right, couple is stack sharp in focus, foreground is out of focus, background is out of focus. Now I create a 3-level image that gives that 3D sensation, because photography is very 2D, two-dimensional, right? And you want to create those layering that they're pleasing to the eyes. Okay, so also that gives you the opportunity, because at some point I walked in front of those flowers and shot the same position that they are, just a slightly different pose, but with nothing on the foreground. So I explored the same location, the same scene, same everything in two different scenarios. Okay, we created two totally different images. So this is what I call layering your image, making your image a little bit more 3D. So when I'm scouting a location, when I get to a location, I'm looking for those elements that I can bring to the front of the lenses, right? Can put in front of the lenses and shoot through. What we're doing, we're shooting through through elements to create that harmony, to harmonize and to help frame the subject. All right, so what I'm seeing here right now is I have that layering. Okay, I have that foreground, midground, and background, but I'm also using this to kind of frame them, right? So remember we talked about framing the other day. So kind of frame them, kind of lock your viewer's eyes into the subject like that. All right, so this is the technique that I'm going to show you today. This is what we're going to keep talking about, how to layer your images. So let me show you a different one. It doesn't need to be in the front of the subject all the time. All right, so that is another image that we did for a different couple engagement session. We will shoot that wedding this year at some point. But look at that. This is downtown Raleigh. This is downtown Raleigh. Okay, so what happened there? We're shooting this location, and I went by and I saw this opening in the vegetation like that. I was looking, everything was very green. I was looking for some colors, right? As I walked by, I saw the yellow, and the yellow caught my eye, and I saw there's the little open, there's like vegetation all over them, and there's a little opening there, and I said, well, if I can put them right in here, and then I look through it, I squat and look through it a little bit there, and sure enough, there was a spot where they could stay all the way back there inside the building, that I could shoot through that thing, right? So I took them back there, I put the light all the way back there, camera left, and then we posed them, and I went all the way around and shot through the flowers, right? So you see how that creates that framing around them? We're using natural elements on the scene to help framing, to help lock your viewers' eyes into the subject. There's nowhere they can look at but look at that subject. So we have, but remember, this is all a combination of techniques. I talked about some time ago on having the background darker than your subject, so you can see it right there. All right, now we talked about framing the other day. You can see it right there, how those flowers, how the greenery is framing them. And now we're talking about layering. See how much layered the image is. We have the yellows, we have the couple in red, and we have the greenery behind and on the sides of them. Okay, so is it making sense, guys? If it is making sense and if you're liking this, please hit that heart there. Let me know if this is making sense or if this is all crazy talk to you. Let me see how many people are understanding what I'm saying, if this is making sense, and if this is something that you can use and can and will start using in your photography. Keep hitting that heart there. Push up hand over there and just keep it. Let's bring that interaction high on Instagram. Okay, good. Thank you so much, guys. Let me share another image with you guys that has the same idea here. So same couple, same location, just like 5 steps before we got there. Okay, so look at that, right? Again, downtown Raleigh, very same location, guys. I think that those flowers, the yellow flowers behind them, I think that's why we shot that first shot that I showed you. Okay, same thing. I just saw those bushes. You see how I'm framing them. You see where the hat are, where they're holding the hat. You see that little slot there that where I put them, where I put them on their location because I knew I could move myself a little bit to the left and get them framed right where I didn't have the greenery too high to cover them. Okay, so it was the same. I mean, literally maybe like 3-4 feet from where we shot that other image that I just showed. Okay, so now we are creating 2 totally different scenes inside the same scene, right? Because it doesn't even look like the same spot, but it is the same spot pretty much. Okay, all you need to do is to look for those things. Those things are out there. Let me see. Oh, that's a good one here. Nice engagement session. We're going to shoot the wedding next year, I believe. It's next year. Yes, next year. This was at UNC Chapel Hill campus. Okay, so the flowers are gorgeous at that point. You see how I framed them around the flowers. We did a bunch of shots on that same location. Look at the camera, looking at her, look at me, all that type of stuff that I talked to you the other day on directing and posing. But see how they're framed around the flowers. Yeah, so it's just like finding that little spot where you can shoot through. Have the flower, the bulk I'm shooting wide open because their noses are on the same level plane, and I can get a nice bokeh right before, right on the foreground, midground in focus, and background out of focus. Okay, so that is another shot that we did. Let me see if I have anything else here that I can show you. There's another one here. This was done in, this is a little bit more simple, but also the same technique. Excuse me, same technique, same idea. This was in Greensboro, engagement session. In Greensboro, we shoot a wedding next year at the Bella Colina Mansion. Same technique. See how I really like that mysterious feeling of that image that has, you know, a little bit of cover, a little bit of revealing. So I'm using that way to make something different. So I also moved them a little bit more sideways, went to my right, so where I didn't have the bushes, and shot them totally clear. And then I just start walking to the left and positioning them correctly and shooting through those bushes. But I want to call your attention to something that we talked about last week. You see how close they are? You see how connected they are? So his hands on her, her hands on him. Although I should have posed that hand a little bit higher, but that's fine. I still like it. You see how his head is tilted towards her, how her head is touching his face. Okay, see, there's a connection there. Remember, there's a connection there, guys. Remember, we talked about connection like last week or Monday, or it was either Monday or last Wednesday. We talked about posing couples, connecting, right? Having the male always putting their hands on the female, because guys tend to what I'm gonna do with my hand. And like I said the other day, I I used to be a hands in the pocket type of guy, and at some point that started bothering me a little bit, and I started really going into getting them to put the hands on each other. I think that today I look at images where there's bride and groom kissing, or engagement, whoever is kissing, and the guy has his hands in his pocket. For me, it tells me that he doesn't care about what's happening right at that point, right? So yeah, I changed the way I pose for couples to create a little bit more connection. All right, let me see. Let me see over here. Oh, I want to talk to you about something. Oh, layering. So when I do the layering, it's not only with flowers and elements. I've done layering with people also. So we shouldn't this engagement session in. Oh, the picture didn't come. Come on, it did not come. So we shot this engagement session in close to Asheville. Right there you go. So I post them against the lamp post, and I'm shooting, and I'm watching this car, this beer drinking cart coming, and they make a turn, and the guy who is driving, oh, I'm sorry, I was in the middle of the street shooting them. I was like, oh, I'm sorry, and I said, no, keep coming, and I shot them as them walk through. Right, look at the bride and groom over, look at the couple over there. They're like, oh my god, this is so cool. And I know I chopped half of her arm, but I think it's a picture that's worth it, because it's a moment that really happened. There's nothing there that's been posed. They have this big smile. Oh, this is so much fun. The guy in the front of the car said, hey. So I asked them, hey guys, give me some movement there, and they're like, hey. So I shot that, and that image was shot with a 7200. That's right. Danny's saying that the image made it to the engagement album. Okay, so you kind of layering, but with people, other people, right? It's a fun pic. Exactly, it is fun. It is something that happened there, through emotions there. Okay, and I have a bunch of images of that couple that I want to show you. Because when we talk about all of this, guys, I was doing some reading today, and we're talking about let me stop sharing this guy here. So I was thinking about candid, right? A lot of times we shooting couples, and when you do a consultation, we always ask, which kind of couple are you? I think I talked about this last week, last live. What kind of couple are you? Are you more laid back? You more funny? You guys funny together? You guys are more uptight? How does it go? And they'll tell, oh no, we're awkward people. Yeah, fine. Oh no, we're okay. You know, we get along together pretty good. So like, I mean, we fun together, like, you know, pinching and tickling and being funny, being cute. So when you get those type of couples, you're not going to need to pose much, because they're going to know what to do. But a lot of people come to us and say, oh, I love the candid image. I said, okay, cool. Then go there and do your thing. And they go to, oh, what are we going to do? Right? So they don't know what to do when they want candid, but they don't know what to do. So what is candid? What does candid mean? Candid is always like laughing, smiling, running, you know. I don't think it is, because that's not life. Life's not always fun, or it's not always happy. I just think like candid is, you create that moment, and you let that moment flow through your subject and see how they react. Okay, one of the things that I like doing when I get a fun couple like this couple that we shot in Nashville, I like playing around with them. They're very young, very energetic. So one of the things that I like doing also is the piggybacking. You know, when the girl comes and piggyback on the guy. So something, but I want to show you. I want to show you the sequence of image that we create for them. There's a bunch of them. All right. So let me start with the beginning. Let me see if I can find one at the beginning here, because there are several moments to this one. Okay, so this is the beginning. This is when I'm still posing, all right? So I'm telling her, so you're gonna go and you're gonna jump, and I tell him, don't look back until she jumps, and just be ready to go, right? And so he's already like, look at this, oh my God, what's gonna happen? I can drop her. She's already like, oh my God, how am I gonna do this? And I'm already shooting, okay? So we shot that one. And then, oops, I did something here. What did I do? Okay, all right. And then she jumps right on his back. Let me see if I can get on her jumping. Just jump right his back. So look at the big smiles, right? That point, I'm just shooting through. So I picked my scene. I set up my lighting. I know what I'm going to do. They're not going to move anywhere. This is just going to stay there. So I don't need to worry. I don't need to keep chimping, right? Look at the back of the camera, because I dial the light. I know what the light's going to be. If my ambient light doesn't change, nothing's going to change. So I just kept pushing the button. So getting the moment. So he had just jumped at that point. Look at those smiles, right? The masked hair, all that stuff. And then we go through it, and then that's when I start, like, you know, posing a little bit and ask her to look at him, ask him to look back. So she's giving a big smile. That part is already me interacting a little bit, because she's under his back. What she's gonna do there? Right? I need to find something for her to do. It's not just like jump there, you go 1, 2, 3 shots and she's off. No, that's not what it is. Okay, so that point I'm posing, look at him, look back at her, and give a big smile, and they're like having a good time and cracking up and stuff like that. So and we keep doing that. I told him to spin a little bit slower, not too fast, so she doesn't fall, they don't get dizzy and all that type of stuff. So we are creating those memories. Look at her smile, look at his smile. This is genuine smile, right? So this is the sequence. Now I asked her to look at me. She has big hair. Look at her hair flying over there. She look at him. I said, just look at me. She moved her hair, and I'm shooting through. Okay. So pretty much like reacting to what is happening, right? And then I asked her to dismount, and that's another funny. So this is what I want to get your attention to. Don't think that she's gonna go jump on his back and this is it. No, you're waiting for that dismount, because the funniest, the best ones come when she's mounting and when she's dismounting. All right, so that's when it gets fun. No, she's dismounting. Look at that picture. Pretty fun. So let me see what else. So she's dismounting there. Let me see if I have another one. Now that she's just dismounted, so he's like, they're looking at each other, they start looking at each other and stuff. So they're having a blast, they're having a good time there, right? And you're just shooting through, guys. You see my light didn't change, I didn't change locations, I didn't make big movements. Just shooting through. That's what it is. And then at the end, so she dismounted, and then what's going to happen? So they're going to hold each other, they're going to kiss each other, right? So and that's that. Look at that hug, how tight that hug is. They're having so much fun with that. So See, it is fun. It is fun. It's like after the moment, right? Because they had so much fun together, and you need to be ready to shoot through those moments. Okay. Let me see what else. I think I have a few more fun ones here. So she looks at him. Now look at the size of that smile. You cannot fake a smile that big, right? You cannot tell your couple, say, smile, give me a smile, and they will do something like that. There's no way. That's genuine, true smile. Okay. And then, so let's finish this up with, then they go for the kiss over there, big kiss there, and that's how we finish it up. All right. So when you're looking at the amount of posing that you do and the amount of true candid images, it's going to depend on the couple. Okay. So if the couple is laid back, if the couple gets along fine, if the couple knows how to deal with each other without direction, just take advantage of that. You start posing and just let it go, let it happen. But you're gonna go back there and correct a few things here and there that you see it's not to perfection. You just go there and do a little correction here and let them talk, let them keep doing what they're doing. When you get couples that are a little bit harder, a little bit more awkward, that's our job to go there and pose them. Okay, so I think that's all that I have for tonight. So it is 8:49 already, so I think I went way over the 30-minute that I usually try to keep on. All right, so let me know if you like this live. Hit that heart button there, keep hitting it. Let's get some interaction here on Instagram. Keep hitting that heart button there, guys. Keep hitting it. So let me know if you liked it. That way I know that you guys enjoying this, and I will keep doing it. I'll keep coming back here and bringing more and more stuff from our experience there for you guys. Okay, guys, I think this is all I have for tonight. Thank you so very much for coming. Thank you, guys. Thank you for coming. I really appreciate you guys here with me. I really appreciate you guys coming here every week and supporting us, sharing this with your friends. And I will let me know if you guys have any questions. Send me a DM. All right, I'm glad to answer any question anytime that I see, and we will see each other on Monday. I hope you have a great week, have a great weekend. Thank you so very much. And if you don't remember, I'm Clay Souza. I'm a wedding and portrait photographer in Chapel Hill, North Carolina, and you are at Clay Souza Official Instagram channel, and we are here live every Monday and Wednesday at 8:08 p.m. Eastern Time. I appreciate all of you guys being here with me, and this live is going to be available on Instagram in a few minutes, and also on YouTube, okay, and our channel YouTube, Clay Souza Official, and also on Facebook at Clay Souza Official. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you so much again, and have a great night and have a great weekend. Be safe out there. All right, enjoy. Go out and get those clients and make things happen. Once you start changing your way of shooting, your composition, send the image to me. I want to see what you are creating. I want to see that transformation on your images. All right, let's create amazing images, because that's what sells. That what brings you the clients that you want. You want the clients that want you for your images, not because you are the cheapest one. Okay, thank you guys so much. Have a great night. I will see you on Monday. Bye.